Thinking about moving to the United States? The American dream may sound tempting, but before you pack your bags, let's talk about the reality of life in the US. Many people move here expecting opportunity, freedom, and prosperity, but there are some serious downsides you need to consider. It's like ordering a giant, delicious-looking burger, only to find out it's filled with questionable meat and a concerning amount of mayonnaise. Today, I'm breaking down the top reasons why moving to America might not be the best idea for everyone. Buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to dissect the good, the bad, and the downright ugly of the American experience. Let's get into it. Let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say the overpriced studio apartment in the room. The American dream, once a symbol of prosperity and success, now often feels like a distant fantasy for many. The cost of living in the US can be shocking, especially for those coming from countries with more affordable lifestyles. Everyday expenses, from groceries to utilities, can quickly add up, leaving many feeling financially strained. We're talking about housing prices that would make your eyes water faster than a tear-jerking cat video on YouTube. The dream of owning a home is slipping away for many as prices soar to unprecedented heights. In major cities like New York, San Francisco, and Los Angeles, finding an apartment that doesn't cost more than your internal organs is like finding a unicorn riding a Roomba through Times Square. The competition is fierce, and the prices are astronomical. And don't even get me started on home ownership. That dream is quickly becoming about as attainable as a pet dragon for many Americans. The barriers to entry are higher than ever, with down payments and mortgage rates that can be overwhelming. Even in smaller cities and suburbs, the cost of living has been creeping up faster than a vine on a trellis. What used to be affordable havens are now catching up with the high costs of urban areas. Rent alone can eat up more than half of your paycheck, leaving you with the financial flexibility of a hamster on a wheel. It's a constant struggle to make ends meet, with little room for savings or unexpected expenses, but it's not just housing. Everything seems to cost an arm and a leg here. From groceries to gas, the price tags can be daunting, making it hard to budget effectively. Healthcare? Don't get me started. Medical expenses can be crippling, even with insurance. A single hospital visit can set you back thousands of dollars. Education? Prepare to mortgage your future. Student loans can haunt you for decades, making it difficult to get ahead financially. Groceries, even basic necessities, will have you wondering if they're laced with gold. The cost of food has been steadily rising, adding another layer of financial stress. The point is, without a solid financial plan and a decent understanding of the cost of living, the American dream can quickly turn into the American debt nightmare. It's crucial to be prepared and informed to navigate these financial challenges. All right, folks, let's talk about healthcare in the US, a topic that often feels like navigating a maze blindfolded. It's a system so baffling it could make a Rubik's Cube look like child's play. Imagine trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces keep changing shape. Unlike many developed nations where healthcare is considered a right, in America it's treated more like a luxury item, like a yacht or a solid gold back scratcher. It's almost as if good health is a privilege reserved for the wealthy. We're talking about a system where a simple doctor's visit can cost you hundreds of dollars, and that's if you're lucky. Sometimes the bill can be even more shocking. And an emergency room trip, well, let's just say you better start practicing your best GoFundMe plea. It's not uncommon for people to turn to crowdfunding to cover their medical expenses. Even if you're lucky enough to have health insurance, which, let's be honest, is a whole other obstacle course, you're still not off the hook. The paperwork alone can be a nightmare. Deductibles, copays, and out-of-pocket expenses are just some of the delightful surprises waiting to ambush your bank account. It's like a never-ending game of financial dodgeball. It's like playing a game of whack-a-mole, except the moles are medical bills and you're the one getting whacked. No matter how fast you try to keep up, another bill pops up. This convoluted and expensive system is one of the biggest concerns for people moving to the US, and for good reason. The fear of unexpected medical costs can be overwhelming. It's enough to make you want to invest in a bubble suit and a lifetime supply of hand sanitizer. After all, prevention seems like the only affordable option. So, you're thinking about moving to the US for work. Well, get ready to embrace the hustle culture, my friend, because here in America we like to work ourselves to the bone. We're talking long working hours, minimal vacation time, and a work-life balance that resembles a unicycle on a tightrope. Unlike many European countries where workers enjoy paid leave, shorter work weeks, and the radical concept of free time, Americans often find themselves tethered to their desks, answering emails at all hours of the night. The US has no federally mandated paid vacation, and sick leave isn't guaranteed, which means many workers push through exhaustion, stress, and the common cold just to keep their jobs. It's a system that prioritizes productivity over well-being, and it's something to seriously consider before packing your bags and boarding that plane to the land of opportunity and burnout. Chapter 4: Gun Violence, a National Pastime. Let's talk about a topic that's uncomfortable but unavoidable: gun violence. It's a tragic reality that the United States has a complicated relationship with guns, a relationship that's more toxic than a reality TV show romance. The US has more civilian-owned guns than any other country in the world, and with that comes a heartbreaking number of gun-related deaths. Mass shootings, school shootings, and everyday gun violence are a grim reality in this country, making safety a major concern for many. Now, I'm not here to debate gun control, but it's important to acknowledge that gun violence is a complex issue that permeates American society. Depending on where you live, crime rates and violence can be a daily worry, and that's something to consider when weighing the pros and cons of moving to the US. Chapter 5: Education. Priceless, literally. Thinking of pursuing the American dream by getting a degree in the United States? Well, get ready to empty your pockets, because higher education here is about as affordable as a private jet made of solid gold. While other countries offer free or affordable university education, students in the US often find themselves drowning in debt just to get a degree. We're talking about student loan debt that's reached a staggering $1.7 trillion, a number so large it's basically meaningless unless you picture it as a mountain range made of overdue tuition bills. This means millions of Americans are financially burdened for decades, all in the name of education. So, if you're planning on studying in the US, be prepared to factor in the cost of tuition, books, and living expenses, because it's not for the faint of heart or the light of wallet. Chapter 6: Social Issues and Political Divides. Welcome to the Thunderdome. Let's face it, the US is about as politically united as a bag of cats trying to play poker. It's a country deeply divided along political lines, and it's an aspect of American life that can be both fascinating and frustrating. From racial tensions and social justice issues to healthcare and gun control, every major issue becomes a political battlefield, with each side digging in their heels and refusing to budge. This constant state of political warfare can be exhausting, especially if you're coming from a country with more social cohesion and less shouting on cable news. It's important to remember that the US is a melting pot of cultures and opinions, and with that comes a wide range of viewpoints. But be prepared for some heated debates and strong opinions, because in America everyone has a voice, and they're not afraid to use it. Chapter 7: Public Transportation. Don't get stranded. If you're a city dweller who loves the convenience of hopping on a train or bus, I have some bad news. Public transportation in the US can be lacking, to say the least. Unlike Europe and parts of Asia, with their efficient and extensive public transport systems, many American cities are playing catch-up. Unless you live in a major metropolitan area like New York or Chicago, owning a car is practically a requirement. And owning a car in the US comes with its own set of expenses: rising gas prices, car insurance that costs more than your firstborn child, and maintenance that'll make you wish you'd invested in a bicycle instead. So factor in transportation costs when considering a move to the US, because unless you enjoy the thrill of hitchhiking or the questionable comfort of Greyhound buses, you'll be spending a significant chunk of change on getting around. Chapter 8: Immigration Challenges, the Labyrinth of Red Tape. Finally, let's talk about the elephant in the room wearing a red, white, and blue hat: immigration. Getting into the US legally is about as easy as solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded while riding a unicycle. The immigration system is notoriously complex, slow, and expensive, a bureaucratic maze that would make even the most patient person consider a career change. Visa processes can take years, and even if you manage to snag a coveted green card, citizenship isn't guaranteed. It's a long and winding road paved with paperwork, interviews, and more than a few sleepless nights. And for undocumented immigrants, life in the US is even more challenging. They face limited rights, the constant fear of deportation, and difficulties finding stable work. It's a reality that many immigrants face, and it's a reminder that the American dream isn't always accessible to everyone. So, should you move to the US? It's a question that many people around the world ponder. The United States is often seen as a land of opportunity, a place where dreams can come true. But is it really the right move for you? So is moving to the US worth it? It depends. There are many factors to consider, such as your career goals, family situation, and personal preferences. The US offers a diverse range of experiences, from bustling cities to quiet rural areas, while America does offer opportunities. These challenges make it a tough place to thrive, especially if you don't have a strong financial or support system in place. The cost of living can be high, and healthcare is often expensive. Before making the big move, do your research, plan ahead, and consider if another country might offer a better quality of life for you. There are many countries with excellent healthcare, education, and work-life balance that might suit your needs better. Look, America is a land of contradictions. It's a place where you can find immense wealth and extreme poverty side by side. The cultural diversity is one of its strengths, but it also comes with its own set of challenges. It's a place where you can achieve incredible things, but it's also a place with deep-seated issues that can make life a struggle. The work culture can be intense, and the social safety nets are not as robust as in some other countries. It's a country that loves to celebrate success, but often overlooks the struggles of those just trying to make ends meet. The American dream is real for some, but for others, it's a constant uphill battle. It's a nation built on the promise of freedom and opportunity, but those promises aren't always kept. The political climate can be volatile, and social issues are deeply rooted. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and let me know in the comments. Would you move to the US? What are your thoughts on the pros and cons of living in America? Or if you already live here, what's your biggest challenge? Let's talk about it. Your experiences and insights could help others make an informed decision.